Hi, this is Patty Rojas. Welcome to Happy Healthy Valley, a show for our community where we will be talking about everything that makes you happy and healthy. Join us every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Stay tuned. Thank you for tuning in to Happy Healthy Valley. Today's interview is extremely important for you, for your family, for your health. And it touches so many lives like it has touched me and also my business partner, Pilar. Both of us have lost family members to cancer. She lost her father to lung cancer. I lost my mom about 4 months ago to acute leukemia. My brother had, or still has, a brain tumor, which is not cancerous, but still, it has to do with how can we prevent it, what are the risks involved, and for a better learning, for better understanding, we have Dr. Suresh Ratnam today. And I hope I pronounced your name correctly.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
How are you, doctor?
I'm well.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your specialty.
Sure. So I'm a medical oncologist. I've been with Texas Oncology here in McAllen for just over 22 years. This is my 23rd year here in the Valley. Natively from India, that's where I was born. Left as a child. My dad worked for the UN, so grew up in Africa for a while. But then immigrated about almost 30 years ago to the US, and most of which I've spent in the Valley.
So this is your home away from home.
I'm a native, yeah. Absolutely.
Very good. Yep. That's how I feel. I'm from Colombia, and this is my home away from home.
Absolutely.
And that's why we want to make sure that all of our Valley residents get all this valuable information about, who is at risk of cancer and diabetes.
Right. I think I just actually went over some of these statistics. It's pretty sobering. I think, approximately 20% of all cancer patients actually have diabetes here in the state of Texas. Wow. More than 100,000 residents in the RGV have diabetes. 70,000 of those are actually in the McAllen area.
Jeez.
So we have a big concentration.
Huge numbers.
13% of Texas adults in the RGV and border counties have been diagnosed with diabetes. And nationwide, unfortunately, Texas does rank very high. It has the 4th prevalence of cancer, and it's 7th in prevalence of diabetes. So in both those, these are not favorable, these are not things to be proud of, but these are actually very sobering statistics. And in the Valley, we expect about 4,500, almost 5,000 cases of cancer this year.
Jesus. And
unfortunately, the diabetes rates are rising. Okay.
Why is this happening, doctor?
So a lot comes down to lifestyle. It's probably simple to distill it into that, but I'll kind of expand on that a little bit. So there are some shared risk factors for cancer and diabetes. Age is one. Most of us know that diabetes is a disease of aging people, and it's the same for cancer. If you look at type 2 diabetes, nearly 25% of Texans over the age of 65 have type 2 diabetes. If you look at cancers, 87% of cancers in the US are diagnosed in people who are over 50 years of age.
Okay.
So age is a risk factor, common to both. Okay. Gender, in a very general sense, men are at higher risk for cancer. Not including the cancers that are exclusive to women, almost like GYN cancers and breast cancer. If you talk about race, African Americans and Caucasians tend to have a higher risk of cancer. Diabetes, on the other hand, is of higher risk in Latinos and in Asian populations. Okay, weight is a big one. Okay, we talk a lot about obesity. Obesity is a very well-known risk factor for diabetes. Unfortunately, so it is even for cancer. Okay. So inactivity, sedentary life, poorly controlled weight is a shared risk factor for both diabetes and cancer. Smoking, we're talking about lifestyle. This is a risk factor for diabetes. For sure, there's 18 types of cancer that do have an increased risk with smoking. We're all familiar with the oropharyngeal cancers and lung cancers, but the list is extremely long, including bladder, cervical cancer, pancreas cancer.
Wow.
There's a list of 18, like I said, and that's a shared risk. Drinking, again, drinking in moderation has been shown to have some benefits. It's a little controversial. There's some new data coming out to show that even slight amounts, even more than one drink a day, may be harmful. Okay, for sure, heavy drinking or regular heavy consumption of alcohol is detrimental both for diabetes and cancer.
On that note, like heavy, would it be somebody drinking like every day or?
I think the older recommendation used to be 1 drink for women and 2 drinks for men, just presumably based on just body size.
Right.
The more recent publication is that even very small amounts of alcohol can be detrimental. It's something new that just got published, so it's starting to get a lot of press, but clearly I think going over 1 or 2 drinks is probably not healthy. Yeah.
Got it. Very important.
So I would say, having discussed risk factors, the next point I would make is what can we do?
Exactly.
What would be a sort of a
prevent
segue
it.
into that next discussion? So I think maintain a healthy weight. I mean, obviously this is easier said than done. I myself, I can tell you there have been years when you're in residency, you're in training, you just grab whatever you can eat and eat unhealthy. You do put on weight, and
Yeah, it's so true.
it's something that as we age, it is extremely important to watch your weight. Okay.
When you're on the go, you just drive through.
Especially here, the
Yeah, and
fantastic Mexican food, right? So, you know
And
how
in
that
every
goes.
corner, not even every corner, like, in every area, there are 2 or 3 fast food restaurants, and then they ask you, well, do you want to supersize it?
Yeah, taquitos for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right?
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah,
So that brings up a very important point about eating a healthy diet. So I think processed carbohydrates definitely is a big risk for diabetes. Whole grains are a whole lot better. I think water instead of caffeinated drinks, sodas, sugary drinks definitely to be avoided. I think nuts, poultry, fish is much better than red meat. Red meat for sure has increased, GI cancers, stomach cancer, colorectal cancer is of higher incidence with that. Exercise, I think we always talk about this. It does tie into weight control, but exercise has been shown to improve diabetes control very, very definitely. Exercise improves your BMI for sure. I think that's
What's
definitely
BMI
favorable.
for people who are watching and they don't know?
It's a measure. It's a body mass index. So basically, it's a metabolic measure. I don't know if I said that right. So, but it is a metabolic measure of how much you are for your height and weight. So,
Very good.
and I think those are important things to keep in mind. We talked about smoking and alcohol consumption as well.
Very good.
One other thing I would add is to get regular cancer screenings. These are recommendations that are available through many bodies, American Cancer Society being one. Definitely after the age of 45 or 50, screening for colorectal cancer, in women screening for cervical cancer even earlier is recommended. Screening mammography for women.
So you
in
recommend
their 40s.
that like once a year, or?
Right. I think depends on the cancer type. Screening for breast cancer, for instance, is recommended at the age of 40 for women. For prostate cancer in men, we recommend the age of 50. Colorectal cancer is 50 for a screening colonoscopy. There's some talk about moving that to 45 based on the increased incidence of cancer in younger people here lately.
Wow. Doctor, I have to ask you a quick question. I know we're kind of running a little bit out of time, but what is the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes?
So type 1 diabetes, in the old lingo, it used to be called insulin dependent. It is of juvenile onset. It starts in younger people. It's almost a completely different disease. The most of what we've talked about refers to type 2 diabetes, which is the most common kind.
Got it. Okay, doctor, well, thank you so very much for your time today, for sharing your expertise. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our audience?
It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Yep.
Thank you. Where can they find you, doctor?
So I'm with Texas Oncology. My office is in McAllen, 1901 South 2nd Street.
Very good. We'll go ahead and put the information on the video. And so thank you so much. We really appreciate your time.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. And for everyone watching, please stay tuned because we will continue to share great information of value and importance to you and your family. Thank you for tuning in to Happy Healthy Valley. Hope you really enjoyed it. We look forward to seeing you next time.